Day, ignorant humans. Bask in it as your days have been numbered few. No doctor, no TARDIS, no savior to rescue you all this time. Revel in the light and in the everyday moments, because they will be swept away from you in darkened majesty. Enjoy it, little humans, for joy will soon be a fleeting, fading memory.
The search continues for 22-year-old Tara Martin, who has been missing for several weeks. The remains of clothing and jewelry were found in a local city park surrounded in an unidentified substance. Reports from locals say never made it home after her shift one evening, and her friend, Eli Jonson, is presuming that she's dead. Our sources say that Martin has not been in contact with her parents for some time now, and that they could offer no details about her whereabouts. In other news, the radiation spread across China, Russia, Mongolia, and Kazakhstan has penetrated the Middle Eastern borders, and the Indian government has made preparations for evacuation as the contaminant forces them out of the country. The devastation is so great the camera drones sent out by the agency in Geneva break down 10 kilometers into the zone. What does this mean for the rest of the world? More on that tonight.
Lovely. First, it was the meteor crash in the Pacific, and then the missile strike in East Asia. It's amazing we've made it this far. Oh, that's my cue. Excellent. So I have the news meeting tonight at 6 p.m. and then tomorrow the interview with Mr. Paisley at 11:30 and with Foreman Glade at East Monument at 1:30. Plus I have the early dinner with the Hollister family at 4, the Hamlet rehearsal review at 6, and the things I do for the paper.
Said you would be a bit clumsy with that pencil. What? You're Eliza Douglas. Right. How do you know my name? I'm Anna Forbes, and I think there's something that we need to discuss. Look, I really appreciate you rescuing my writing utensil and all, but I am really truly very busy, and I have to, strange man in a coat with a cane. I'm really very busy. Anyone could dismiss a man in the corner with your eye, but you're far too observant to do that. It's just some man. Look again. Would you like to meet him? A cotton wool? No. Relax.
You can never get away from me so easily.
Why do you keep popping up?
I was trying to get your attention, which is difficult given the circumstances.
Who are you?
You wouldn't know. That's not your fault. I know. I'm the doctor. We met before. But you couldn't possibly remember that these days.
I never forget to face.
But you do when the faces simply aren't there anymore. People disappear sometimes, fading through the pages or falling through the cracks in the sidewalks. No one remembers.
So, what is this place?
Well, I could give you the long, complicated answer, but to save time, I will call it a memory garden.
Why are we in a memory garden?
I think the better question is, why aren't you rolling your eyes and denying my very existence?
I don't know. You seem real enough. Maybe I'm just going along with a dream or something.
So you don't believe that the world is going to end tomorrow?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, the day after tomorrow.
No. Okay, no, this is not happening. No. Could someone show me the way back to reality, please?
The end of everything you've ever known is very real.
I was willing to believe you, but look around us. A memory garden? I must be dreaming or hallucinating. Was that cotton wool soaked in drugs or something?
I believe this belongs to you.
I never wrote this.
Dreams and hallucinations must be based off of information we already know.
But I don't know any of this. These notes, the end of the world, or you.
You know, I was privileged to meet someone who took notes and observed the world around her. But even though she saw, she ignored what she didn't understand. But there's one thing I do understand. A good mom sits with her child in the night, in the dark when the power goes out. And that isn't silly at all.
But how do you...
Do you want to remember?
Show me. How long was I out?
All makes sense now?
You idiot!
What did I do?
You got yourself in this mess by showing off!
My hand slipped.
You shouldn't even be here. That thing erased you from time and space for all I know. How are you even here?
The Lufna.
The what?
The cotton ball. It's a very special creature with a complex memory matrix. It's like a fancy computer, all right, that stores its memory outside of time and space. I ran in to Anna and the Lufna at the theater, so the Lufna remembered me. When the time change occurred, I was saved by something that can't forget.
So Anna remembers you too. Is she an alien as well?
No, she's as human as you. Think of it as like when a computer shares files with another computer. The Lufna file shared me into Anna's head, then into your head.
This is all very complicated, and none of it would have happened if you hadn't gone and shown off.
I wasn't showing off.
Oh, yes, don't touch the painting. It's far too dangerous, but I'm an expert, so I'm going to put my face 5 inches away from it.
I told you before, it isn't a painting, it's a prison. And if you'd quit mocking me, I'd tell you that whatever was imprisoned on that wall in that basement is loose on the earth, and no one is safe.
It's free. But is that why the world's ending?
No. The world is ending because I'm gone.
Oh, really now?
Look, it's like this. When lives are taken out of time, splits and wounds are left behind. The universe just kind of folds in around them. I'm over 2,500 years old, and I've been to the Earth and saved the Earth hundreds of times. So now that I'm gone, there's a gaping hole in the universe, and the Earth is going to be swallowed up in it. Every day I've ever saved a human life on this planet is going to be rewritten without me included. I'm not putting myself on a pedestal or congratulating myself. I'm just trying to get you to understand that everything I've done to keep the Earth bright and blue and still in the sky is going to be undone, and everyone is going to die.
What can we do?
Memories are powerful, but I need more energy for me to be able to come back, and you three are my only chance of being able to come back and stopping everything from disintegrating.
We remember you. Is that enough?
Sometimes it is, other times it isn't. Now I don't know why, but for some reason we need more energy to bring me back.
We can't do that. We're not like you. You're the expert. We need help.
Right now, I've been demoted to a figment of your imagination. There's not much I can do from here.
We need somebody who knows what they're doing.
If I might interrupt.
And you are?
You must be the doctor, yeah? A bit of an improvement from the early days, I see. I need a word, now.
You can see him.
Look, I'm sorry, but I have no idea who you are.
Base 65, serial 7243573. I need a word, now.
What are you even doing here? The future doesn't exist anymore.
We had some alien tech on hand that alerted us to a space-time anomaly in this sector. I was sent back to investigate.
But you should have been erased from time.
That's funny coming from you right now. Time must have shifted as I was en route through the vortex. I was spared, which is good news for you lot because I'm the only one who can fix your mess. So, it's some escaped prisoner from some ancient forbidden time. Bloody lovely.
Why didn't they just send agents forward to Mora?
Because I'm the better choice. Should have known you'd be at the center of it all.
What's that supposed to mean?
Don't act all innocent. I've done my homework. You're a disaster magnet. We're still trying to recover from that botched invasion in 2519.
If it wasn't for my intervention...
What's wrong with you?
I'm being stretched between 3 human minds in the pan-dimensional memory matrix.
Blimey, are you dying?
I died when I made contact with that prison. The state I'm in now is just like fighting for my last breath over and over again. The pain will pass.
So what happens to you when this is all over?
Given that we win, well, you've done your homework.
Sorry, mate.
You mustn't tell Eliza.
Why?
I need her to trust me first. So, what's your name then?
Special Agent Nicolette Ambridge. But you should just call me Nell.
Oh, so are we on friendly terms now?
No, it's just easier to shout when you land us in a crisis.
Who do you think she is? Not sure, but the doctor seemed a little more than impressed with her numbers. She looks right mad with him too.
So, how do you do it? All this. The world is ending, history is being destroyed. I only just met the doctor before tomorrow. It all just seems too complicated.
Life with the doctor is very, very complicated.
But it's more than just the doctor. You see, when he crammed my own memories back into my brain, I remembered a guy. His name was Turner. And it's just, he fell off the earth just like the doctor. And I didn't even notice.
That wasn't your fault.
Yes, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel right that we could just pick up and go on like nothing happened.
We were lucky that the doctor was saved again.
Yeah. How did you and the doctor meet?
He hit a time bubble with his time machine and got separated from it. He found me inside with the Lefner, building a small universe around me. He popped the time bubble and turned everything back to normal. It was pure luck that I ran into him again at the theater. Of course, that would have happened tomorrow, and at this rate, the stuff that happened at the theater sort of happened, I guess. Time's funny like that.
When events get out of order, some of them get lost and aren't lived over again. But we still remember them. Anna, Eliza, this is Nell. She's from the future.
Welcome to London.
Charmed, I'm sure.
So, do we have a plan?
I have a plan. First, we find this ancient being that caused this mess, and then we sort it.
And how do we do that?
The Phantom, as far as I can tell, is a very powerful being who very powerful people place in a very powerful prison. Therefore, having now found freedom, he must occupy a position of power before the end occurs.
So we simply look at all the powerful people in the UK, and then go from there. Easy.
What good will that do? What do we do once we find him?
Like I said, he's a very powerful being. Powerful enough to undo what he has done.
Powerful people are very hesitant to relinquish their power. what do we do if he refuses?
After we give him a chance, and we must always give them a chance and a choice, we force him.
But how? He's so powerful.
And I'm very persuasive.
You can't even get your hand around a pencil in the state you're in. How are you going to relinquish the power of a powerful being? We only have this afternoon and tomorrow. We haven't got the time.
Trust me.
I know who it is.
How could you possibly know that?
Isn't it obvious?
That power. That ego. The new Prime Minister, Michael Phineas.
No, it's not the Prime Minister. Of course it is. You've seen him on the telly. He's a creep. Yes, he's a creep, but think about it. Who is always with him? Always by his side, whispering in his ear? It's not the Prime Minister. It's his wife.
What?
You know her laugh? That's the same one I heard in the theatre. It has to be. The same one that I'm supposed to hear tomorrow. Or not.
So it's settled. We pay a visit to the illustrious Prime Minister and his wife.
We need someone to stay here and watch our backs.
Anna would be happy to do it.
What? Why?
Because I'm asking.
Here, let me give you my number, Anna. Just in case something happens, you can contact us right away. I thought the Prime Minister would be at Downing Street.
This appears to be a more high security, more private office.
No guards, though.
I doubt the new Prime Minister needs them.
So, how do we get in?
Vortex manipulator.
Glad to see you're prepared.
I am, but are you?
I'm sorry?
Programming coordinates for the top floor. You, go check that door.
Okay. Go check.
Tara Martin isn't with you. Did she make it?
How did you know about that?
Told you. Did my homework.
She didn't.
Sorry. How long ago? For you.
100 years.
Alone?
I felt alone. I mean, there were some. Some kept me distracted, kept me away from the pain.
Are you gonna go to pieces on me?
No, I'm not. Look, I spent my time grieving, until I finally let it go. I will never forget her, ever. I'm moving on.
What about Miss Douglas? You're asking me to keep things secret from her because you want her to trust you. Does that mean?
I don't know. But I will, when the time comes. Funny thing is, I've forgotten what it's like, having a constant companion. So for now, I don't know.
Right. I've got the coordinates set. Off we go then?
Oh, try not to kill anyone.
I doubt bullets will do anything against whatever the Phantom is supposed to be.
Quite right.
So, the Prime Minister of horribly conceived names isn't even a human being. I'd say I'm surprised, but well, I've seen worse things at Downing Street.
Aren't we persistent, Time Lord?
I'm not so easily put down.
Well, I congratulate you, all of you. You have memories of the Doctor, you're carting him around in your head, you found me, and you've even got technology from a future time to help you. Very good. But let's be realistic. There is no more future, and the declination of Earth's history will not be able to support you for much longer. Lucky you will fade before the end of the world. I'm not scared of you. But you are scared of the scary men with their big teeth, scraping at the walls of your nursery every night. You still dream of them long after you've grown out of your imagination. The phantom noises keeps you awake at night. Now, try and tell me that you aren't afraid.
Leave her alone.
Oh, what? So yell at me? Please. Without physical form, you are powerless to do much else other than give us long and incomprehensible speeches.
You've put the Earth and all of its history in jeopardy. Make it right. Please.
What is this? The fury of a Time Lord, deformed to a hapless please? Shaking.
Why can't you put everything back? Why are you trying to destroy us?
The unraveling of the earth will result in unrelenting, glorious chaos, upon which I will gorge myself.
The earth is not going to fall to you.
Good try. But goodbye.
How did he do that?
He was oozing with time energy. Manipulating the vortex manipulator was an effortless task for him.
Nobody messes with my vortex manipulator.
Don't worry. We'll just get into building the hard way.
He's going to destroy the Earth simply for the chaos?
Yes. And the Phantom is more of a personless being, a concept. But whatever it is, it must feed on raw time for its power. The destruction of the Earth's timeline would be a feast for it.
We don't even stand a chance.
Don't talk like that. You, me, Nell, we're a team. We're quick, clever, and we made it this far. Now let's make use of the time that we have.
We can use my apartment as a kind of a base.
Perfect. Let's go there.
I'll call Anna. Now we know where she is, what she's capable of, and what she's planning. We need to use this to our advantage.
It doesn't feel like we have much of an advantage at all. She can mess about with time itself.
We're not without technology and intelligence of our own. I think if we work through the night, we can definitely come up with something.
I'll sacrifice a night's sleep if it means an end to all of this end of the world nonsense. Is there anything we could use to threaten her into restoring the world?
That's unlikely. She's a power-mad time something or other, with no emotions regarding love or caring, and the doctor said she was in prison for thousands of years, so on top of everything else, she's a hardened criminal.
What if there is something we can do? The Doctor, as of right now, is memory, a collection of thoughts clinging together. What if we used our combined minds to bring him back?
3 human minds and even the Luffin's complex memory matrix aren't enough to pull me through. We need a bigger collection of minds, a huge collection, a colossal collection. It takes a lot of thought to get something going.
Well, there must be some way of using thought. This is all about thought and memory. We can't use physical force because the primary problem isn't physical.
Hold on. We all agree that the Phantom is a very powerful thing, but she only used her great time power when we were at the Minister HQ, in the hallways there. Maybe we can actually use that to our advantage. Perhaps she must be using a device to send her power and commands out to the whole world.
You know, the vortex manipulator was picking up a power transmission on a large scale.
So your assumption was right, Eliza. Very good.
But what does that mean for us? I have an idea. What if we were to go back to the HQ and we use the device? We could transmit the Thought Doctor across the world. From what I can tell, the Phantom is able to influence the entire planet. We could have 7 billion plus minds thinking about the Doctor. All of that could be enough to pull the Doctor through.
It's quite an idea. But if we did that...
Sleep cycle in effect. Mandatory participation of all citizens.
What on earth does that mean? No!
Foolish, Doctor. Did you really think I would allow you and your pathetic little team the whole night to plan and plot and strategize? I am not only much more powerful than you, I am also so much cleverer. No, I will let you awaken tomorrow on the last day and dance around your deaths. It will be satisfying to see all your efforts gone to waste and the look of horror on your faces when you die. Time is running out for the earth, and its death shall be the greatest feast I could ever consume. Enjoy your last day, little doctor. Enjoy the last day of everything you have ever loved.